Hi, this is Jeff from Michigan Michael Chekhov classes, and today I am talking a little bit more about Aegean and how to create a more nuanced character from the broader archetypes that I've been working with thus far. I don't have to go too nuanced with Aegean because it is a comedy of airs. It's a very broad comedy. I'm doing it as a one-person show, so the onus is on me to make those characters very, very separate anyway. So I feel like I'm pretty safe living in a more unveiled archetype with each and every one of these characters. Oh, by the way, I took yesterday off. I took yesterday off because it was my birthday. And if you want to give me a great birthday present, why don't you share, subscribe, like this video, because that would really be great, and I would love to hear from you. But getting back to Aegean, I think the other day I was using the archetype of the grizzled sea captain, right? A heavier task could not have been imposed than I to speak my griefs unspeakable. And that's going to be a lot of fun. I think for me as an actor, when I'm doing like a comedy like this, the first question is this going to be a fun approach to it? Am I going to have an enjoyable time? Remember, acting is supposed to be fun for you. If it's not fun for you, then really I suggest moving on and doing something else, because acting is supposed to be fun. So at its very core, I think this approach to the character will be fun for me. So I start with this archetype of grizzled sea captain, and I'm going to try to move into more of an imaginary body with this character. Remember also that he is under the archetype, the story archetype of an innocent. And by that I mean he is someone who is in trouble, who needs saved, right? He doesn't really show a lot of negative qualities in this play. He is a loving father, a loving husband, spent his life looking for his wife, looking for his son, looking for his son's servant. He was going across the world trying to find them. And then he gets stuck in Ephesus and now is under penalty of death because he can't pay the fine. So I assume he spent a lot of his money trying to find his wife and his son as well. And quite frankly, his other son who left and sailed away too. So he is definitely an innocent, someone who needs to be saved. But he's also a father. He is also a sea captain. He is also a... well, who knows what else he is. Why don't I go to my computer and kind of go through some more archetypes, and then maybe I can show you some imaginary bodies that I've been working with. Okay, so here I am. I'm at my computer, and yes, I do like to use my computer when I'm working with my characters, particularly when I have to make lists like this. You might like to write it in your script. That's totally cool. You do it the way you do you, and I'll do me. But I have Aegean in front of me, and hopefully as I write down these archetypes and think of these archetypes, I can work with it a little bit more tomorrow through some movement work with Michael Chekhov. But again, things I've already mentioned, which is Aegean is an innocent, and he's innocenty, yes, and he is a grizzled sea captain. Now, that's a pretty specific archetype, but it is an archetype because you do see these types of characters across all manners of literature, all manners of plays, movies, even in art. We see the same character occurring over and over, and that's how you know that it is an archetype. If you can say, well, this character is similar across many different mediums and different plays, it's definitely an archetype. So we have the archetype of grizzled sea captain. We all know, I think, what that means, and if we don't, we can make it up. And then there's other things that he could be too. And off the top of my head, he's a mentor, right? And because he's a father, right? So we have father, and he husband, right? and we can get more specific. Remember, the more specific we can make each archetype that we use, the more these images will move us and activate our will center and really inspire us towards authentic characterization. So he's not just a husband. He is a loyal husband, right? And he's not just a father. He is a well, I guess he's also a loyal father, but what else could he be? He's also a loving father, right? And he's also kind of, let's say, a fallen mentor, because he was a father and now he's not a father, at least to one of them. So he's fallen in that regard. And he's also kind of comical, so we can say comic mentor. We might want to try, he's a wanderer. Definitely, he's wandered across the globe looking for his family. He's a seeker, right? A wanderer, a seeker. He's a caretaker. Oh, yeah, he's a caretaker. He's a beggar, right? Because he's doesn't have enough money, right? He's sort of a vagabond. That might be a really fun one too. Let me add a few more rows here. Why not? Okay. So, and we can use any type of archetype across all manner of literature, and we can use tarot archetypes. We can use story archetypes. We can use Chinese zodiac archetypes. For example, there's the rat. The rat is a great archetype for him. And in the Chinese zodiac, the rat is described as essentially charming, compassionate, renowned for thrift and love of family. At times, rather superficial. So that's one exception, because I don't know that he's superficial. But he does kind of mention about how much gold he makes and things like that. So I think it could work. So that's just an idea of all the different archetypes that might work for this character. Let me show you some pictures of what I'm working with. So here's a great one. This is the Cornish fisherman, right? And you can see he's got the pipe there, and he's got the outfit, and I definitely feel like he would talk the way I kind of envision Aegean's voice in this project too. And let's see, what other things do we have here? We have this guy, and I think of him in the storm, in the great tempest. Tempest. Gee, Shakespeare, you really are original. But he's definitely in that storm, looking out to sea, sort of what happened to him at the beginning of the play, or at least what he describes at the beginning of the play. And of course, we're not married to any time period or anything. We're just looking for impressions and different ways of looking at these characters and an imaginary body. And of course, here's the Gordon fisherman. The Gordon fisherman works too. Again, the archetype of grizzled sea captain. He's a fisherman, but and Aegean's a merchant seaman, but it's still roughly the same type of feel. These guys who live by the sea. Arr, arr, arr. So that's the idea behind taking an archetype and sort of using that archetype to start to think about your imaginary bodies. So grizzled sea captain turns into Gordon fisherman, or whatever. The idea is that you're taking these archetypes and you're starting to move and make them more and more specific and authentic to yourself. So that's where we are today, and tomorrow I'm going to work with some movement with these archetypes and see where that takes me. So like, share, and subscribe if you like it. Again, this is Jeff from Michigan Michael Chekhov Classes. That's www.michiganchekhov.com. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.